Wow,
Hello.
wow,
Hi.
wow. Author Jerry. How do I get to pronounce your names?
It's Jerry O. My author name is Jerry O.
Jerry. Oh, wow, wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Finally, you made it to the Global Readers Circle podcast. That's so honorable.
Yes, I'm so happy I was able to make it.
I'm so humbled. I hope. Wow, wow. So good to have you here.
It's good to be here. It's really good to be here.
Welcome to the podcast, the one student, one book, one author mantra, the Global Readers Cycle, the ultimate podcast designed to use your good office reader out of every global person, especially the student. I'm so honored to have you on the Global Readers podcast.
Yes, I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, I like you to, well, you'll be having fun on this show. You'll be telling us about your reading lifestyle, how becoming
Mm-hmm.
a lifelong learner has helped you lead the life you're currently leading, and you're authored. And of this show, where you'll be naming 10 books that probably stayed with you. First, I like you to tell
Okay. You said first you want to get to know about me?
about your upbringing, your name, what you do for a living. Just keep it fun, 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 fun.
Well, yes, my name is Jerry O. I am from Decatur, Georgia. I was born in San Diego. I grew up in Decatur. And really about me, I am a writer at heart. That is my passion. That is what I do for free. That's what I do. Well, right now, what I do for free is what I am looking to monetize. You know what I'm saying? Because that is my passion. That is my world. But to pay the bills, I do rideshare delivery. So I'm a rideshare driver, but I've worked in a lot of different industries over the course of my working experience. So I've seen different things. I've seen a lot of different people, connected with people on different levels. Which is so that's something I just like to do. I like to connect with people. I like to help people. I like to be in service to people in some sort of way. Um, Anything else? Well, I already said I'm a writer. I'm an author. My book um, is called Lost Love: The Release. It's really about um, all of the feelings and emotions and resolutions I've come to in my relationships when there's been a breakup, when there's been a disappointment, where there has been death for me to grieve. These are all things I put into my book, and I wrote it and published it to connect with those who have felt the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
people that have gone through what I've gone through, but just haven't been able to find the words to put to these emotions and feelings that they feel.
Wow, wow. Well, let's talk about your upbringing and let's talk about your reading lifestyle because for you to make that discipline, become so committed to become an author, I must say that
Mhm.
you should have been a lifelong learner. You should have been an avid elliptical reader. So I like you to talk about your upbringing. Were you lucky, blessed to have parents, big sis, big brother, who instigated or inspired you to become a lifelong?
Well, I was raised by my mother. I am the youngest of three kids, and my mom actually was a writer. She's no longer with us
Lifestyle.
in the physical realm, but she was a writer. So since I was probably about five, I
Wow,
wanted to be a writer just like
wow.
her. And all through school, like I read
Mm,
books. Like my upbringing, like we didn't have everything. We didn't have the best. There was a bit of trauma involved in my family life. And what I used to escape all of that, I used books. I poured myself into books.
Wow.
So, like, and I'm not talking just like I was 10 reading adult content type books. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would read anything I can put
Yeah.
my hands on, and my nose was just always stuck in a book. So that's kind of how I grew up, just wanting to be what I read. And I started
Wow.
writing poetry when I was 10 years old. Um,
Wow.
I can remember like it was such a corny poem, but it was like, um, you fine like wine, I wanna dine with you.
Wow. Wow.
Like
Wow. Wow.
like yeah.
Wow.
That was my first poem. Yeah, that was my very first poem. But like it's just with books being able to delve in any type of world, like in different types of worlds, to have different perspectives, to be really being able to escape the world around you and to enter another. That is something that has always like it's just always grabbed me. It's always grabbed my attention. Um Now today as an adult, like the only way I can read is if I have nothing to do. And that's never like, and as an adult, that's never a thing. There's always something to do. So I don't get to read as much as I used to as a child. Like, because as a child, that was all I was doing was reading. Um, but a few
So,
books.
what
Go ahead.
would you think that your decision to become a reader at a very young age, do you see that habit you formed many years ago as something that has helped you lead the life you've always wanted?
Yes and no. So as far as writing, it's helped me to like develop my own skills. But as far as I used it as an escape. So it kind of developed this habit of me using books to escape instead of dealing with, reality in front of me. So for that part, I've had to kind of get out of the notion of okay, everything's crumbling. I'm just going to go read a book.
Yeah,
I've had to, grow up and be an adult and be like everything's crumbling. Let me take the time to put the pieces back together. Um, so that's part of it, but also like just with reading, it just helps me to learn. It just helps me to learn more, to see more, to feel more, to widen my perspectives. That those are the habits that it has developed in me, to where even with people, I'm talking to people in real life, like I'm very interested in their perspective. I'm very interested in how they got to be their person in front of me.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it has
yeah.
its pros and cons.
Wow, wow, wow. So you like to talk about some of your favorite authors and some of the books that made reading fun for you while growing up.
Okay, yes. So my very first book is called Fly Girl by Eric Jerome Dickey. It is the first like adult book I've read. It was actually my sister's book, and I was like 10 years old, and I snuck it and I read it for myself. um, that book definitely cemented my want to like create worlds for people to listen to.
Yeah.
Other books include Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. That is a ultimate favorite. Um, The Secret Life of Bees. I read that book and I loved it. The um The Color Purple. I'm trying to think of it all in order. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, The
Yeah,
Zaire by Paulo Coelho.
yeah.
Those are books in my later years that really expanded my perspective.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so that's kind like, and I used to read like Eric Dickey books. I don't know if you know him, but he's like an urban author, what they call urban. He's like a Black American author. He has a lot of books that he's written about stories about people in their lives, in their livelihood, their relationships, they embarked on things like that. So those are things that really interested me. I love books that tell a story. Like I love books that tell culture. I love books that get you to like it doesn't have to be all this intricate language in order to get you to be thinking about your own life and what you want for your own self.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing. So, to Jerry, I like to ask you,
Mhm.
when did you think you had the golden pen? By the golden pen, I mean, when did you feel like, well, this was the time where I had to write something for other people to know that there was a golden pen in me, and click, you became an author.
It wasn't quick. It definitely wasn't quick because from childhood, I used to write stories. Like, I remember being in middle school writing short novels, you know what I'm saying, on my computer, on my best friend's computer. So I've always been writing. It wasn't really until adulthood that I got it into me that I need to write in order to publish, and
Yeah.
that was something that like that was instilled in me through my mom, because my mom was an author and she published her own book of poetry when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And so throughout college she used to tell me, like, you have to write your book, you need to publish, like you need to be writing. Like she was the one that ultimately believed in my golden pen, so to speak,
Wow.
and was always trying to get me to push me to just publish it for the world.
Wow.
um Outside of that, I have hosted like my own personal blog, a lifestyle blog. I
Yeah.
write different types of articles that I've published online that people love to read. And but it wasn't until recently, like after my mom died, that it really got to me how serious it is for me to push my work out.
Wow.
Just hearing her words, just hearing her encouragement, just hearing, um, everything that she knew that I could be still linger in me, even though she was gone from this earth. Like that really
Yeah.
pushed me into publishing, like for real, for real.
Wow. Wow. Let's talk about your mom. Let's talk about your mom because
Hmm.
it seems that you had a whole lot of inspiration from her, or it seems that she was your number one fan or your number one muse. So I like you
Yeah.
to tell me, you said she was also a published writer. So tell me about mom and her book.
Oh yes, so she has written poetry her whole life. She
Wow.
has used her life experience as inspiration for her poetry. Um, and so what she used to do was she would just like print it out on a piece of paper with a little graphic, and it would be posted in her
Yeah.
home. But when I was in high school is when she pushed herself to publish a book called She Emotional. So it's
Wow.
about all, yeah,
She emotional. She
She Emotional.
emotional.
Yes.
She emotional. Wow.
Yes.
That's a very amazing title. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so she emotional, like the title suggests. She published it to in order to like publish her emotions and to reach women of all different ages and all different cultures with her poems.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
was different poems in there, and she had short stories. She had, I think, two short stories that she wrote in the book as well.
Wow. 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 That's so amazing. What was mommy's name? You keep using she. Please give us a name.
Maria, her name was Maria Kennan.
Wow.
And
Wow.
she self-published in a time where the internet wasn't as big as it is today. So
Sure.
she literally, like, she didn't have as many options.
Hello, Jerry, are you there? Did I lost you? Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I'm with you. Go on.
Well, yes, I was saying she published a book at a time where internet wasn't as big, so it wasn't as many options for self-publishers,
Yeah.
and she just pushed herself to make that. And she pushed the book sales. She had like a whole collection. Everyone in our family has a copy of her book. Um, and she really, like, she did it all on her own. So that was the
Wow.
example that I had, in my blood, like doing it all on your own and publishing it, and, having the people around you appreciate your art. Like that's the example that she set for me with her book.
Wow. 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 So amazing. So awesome that you're sharing this on the Global Reader Circle. Well, Auto
Yeah.
Jerry, I like to ask you. I like to ask you
Hmm.
to have a mom who inspired you so much, who left a standard that you could want to measure up and also have a whole lot to learn from. Now, I like to ask you, when you published your Facebook, what problems were you trying to solve?
Um, just I wanted to solve the issue of, like, how when you people write poetry, a lot of people want you to be happy. They don't want you to write the things that trouble you. They don't want you to write about your darkness, the dark moments that you have. I
Yeah.
really wanted to release all of that. Like, writing these poems was about me releasing these emotions that I did not know what to do with. I did not know what to do with them. Like, I'm having these breakups, or I'm grieving my mother, which I have a poem dealing with grief in the book, or, I'm dealing with life changes, and it's challenging me in a way to where it feels like it's beating my ass. Like, it feels like, I can't go on. And so being able to write these things, first of all, it helped me to not have to deal with them internally anymore. But I also feel like publishing them and having people read them will help others to put a name to these emotions that just sometimes it grab you and it seems like it's winning. Um, and it seems like you're losing. Like, that's the problem I want to solve. Like, people being able to address their dark emotions, address their dark moments, and be able to release though that energy so that they can go on to something better.
Wow. Wow. So when did you have your face publications?
This year, actually, in October, well, not this year, in 2023, because we're in 2024 now.
Wow.
In 2023, in October, yes, that was my first published
Wow,
book.
that's so amazing. That's so amazing. And when you wrote this book, you had your readers in mind. So I like you to share. I like you to share what has been your strategy to reach out to the people, the consumers, the readers you wrote this great devout for.
The internet, the social media, that is my number one outlet. I have already, like, on my TikTok, I have already made a video for one of the poems where I'm basically performing it in a way you can visualize the pain that's being put into the poem. Um, Outside of that, I do know, like, a book marketer that can help me reach out to people that don't know who I am so that they can learn my name. And of course, being on this podcast is also part of the strategy because the more I talk about it, the more I reach audiences of people that don't know me, the more they'll be wanting to come to my page to see these poems, to buy the book, to have their emotions named.
Wow, wow. Well, this brings us to a point where I like you to tell our audience how to find your book, how to build a rapport with you. And I'm sure you're a social media person, just like you're saying internet, internet, internet. So tell us, how do we get your book and how do we get to build that lasting rapport with you?
Okay, my book it's called Love Lost, The Release, and it's available on Amazon. You can look it up on Amazon. If you want the direct link, you can follow me on my social media. This is Geri O. That's ThisIsGerioh. And that is the same on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. If you go there,
Wow,
you can find the link to purchase the book. And also just give me a follow because I've only just started doing the marketing. So I know I will be having more videos and things out to, help people see the parts of the book that I would like for them to see.
wow, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, Arthur Jerry O. I am so humbled, so thrilled that you honored the Ivy and you made it to the Global Readers Podcast, the ultimate
Mhm.
podcast that is designed to help make a committed reader out of every global person using your authority and good office as an author. So here is the point where I like to ask you now, being an author, what has been your greatest challenge? What has been your greatest block? What has been your greatest moment of, I wish I could just get past this? I'd like you to share that with us.
Fear, honestly, like fear and anxiety of what if they don't like this, or what if it's not good enough, or what if um I don't sell any books. You know what I'm saying? Like getting over that has been the greatest block for me because it has taken years. These are poems I've written since 2016. From 2016 to 2023, these are poems I've been writing over the span of years. And
Yeah.
it's just been that fear of like, well, what if, that you really have to get over in order to just bust through and publish it. Like I
Yeah.
did it. I published it, and there are I can answer the what else myself because the it's in my hands. I'm
Yeah.
in control.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Well, this podcast is designed to help you meet your next readers. And we have an author's book tour where authors are mentors and going all out scouting and winning the souls of every global reader, especially the students. So I hope that you're going to be leveraging our opportunity to be one of such mentors since you brought your golden pen on. What do you think?
Yeah, I would love to be connected. I like that's the thing about the internet. You can connect with anybody from any country, from any state, and it can be as though they are right there. So I would love to connect with the global community like that. That'll be awesome.
Wow, wow, that's so nice. That's so nice. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. Thank you very much for honoring our Ivy. But before you go, are you going to take our challenge to name 10 books that would probably stay with you forever?
10 books. Okay, well, let's.
Oh,
Okay, let's
I
see.
have to mention here, don't forget to add mommy's book. I might not be happy with you.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Yes, you are correct. Okay, so we'll start with the first one. My mother's book, She Emotional.
She
Um.
emotional. Tell me about she emotional.
Well, yeah. It's just like I said. It was just a collection of poems and short. like short stories that she wrote is honestly the same. Like how I'm saying I wrote things based upon my emotions, she did the
Yeah.
same. It was based
Wow.
upon the things she saw in her life, being a single mother, growing
Yeah.
up in like the 80s and 90s, no, 80s and 90s. By 90s, she was grown, but still, like, you have to grow, you have to
Yeah.
move, you have to do all these things. And she
Yeah.
basically just put the journey of being a black woman in America in her book.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
one.
she
That's
mentioned like
one.
that's one. And then two is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. Three is Fly Girl by Eric Jerome Dickey. Four is The Zaire by Paulo Coelho. The
Okay.
Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Yeah.
Think and Grow Rich by
By
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. Beautiful.
Yes.
Go
The
on.
Color The Color Purple by Alice Walker, I believe. I hope I got that right.
Okay.
That's seven. I need three more. Let's see.
Yeah.
I
Three
know
more.
I three more. Holes by I forgot the author name, but you know who made the movie Holes? It was based off a book, and I really liked that book. It was a wonderful book. The Secret Life of Bees. I forgot who
Oh.
wrote that as well, but that was a movie that was made into a book. And then my 10th book is DMX's autobiography. I don't know if you ever heard like his autobiography. It really changed my outlook on life. To be
Is
honest,
it
it
DMX?
changed how I
DMX
viewed
the
him as an
musician?
artist. I'm sorry.
DMX, is it
Say
the musician, the rapper?
yes, he has an autobiography of his life, and it is so deep. Like it changed the way I looked at
Wow.
him forever.
Wow. I'm yet to read that. Wow. What's the name again?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know the name. I don't remember the name of, but I know it was his autobiography, DMX. Like that's all I
Wow.
remember. I read it in here.
I
Oh,
read.
and I did 10, but an extra one is Asada Shakur, her autobiography. That was a powerful book as well. Oh, and dang, I'm over 10, but Invisible Man, Invisible
Wow.
Man by I forgot his name. But
Wow.
Invisible Man is a good book as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I read Invincible Man. Yeah, I did. I did. I did. Yeah, yeah.
I
Wow.
really think that's a book that a lot of black men need to read. I really feel like it speaks to the experience and the history of black men in America.
Wow. Wow. You are so awesome. Like you ended up mentioning a whole lot of like 14 books. That's so wonderful. That's wonderful. Wow. But before you go, I'd like you to share some words of inspiration to the young person who is yet to carve a niche for themselves, for that lady who just got a divorce, that man who is yet to actually know what he wants to do with his life, to that student who is confused, lost, and feel like dropping out. What would be your last words to folks like this who are traumatized, downtrodden?
I would say listen to yourself, connect with your inner voice, listen to yourself and believe in it. Trusting yourself is the number one thing that you can do to guarantee your success in this life. You have to trust your voice, you have to know your voice, and you have to trust the process in itself.
Wow, wow, wow. Author Jerry. Oh, well, before you go, I'd like you to tell us what would you love to be remembered for? I mean, after all of this energy, this work, this tedious life, what would you want the whole of this lasting legacies and posterity to remember you for?
I would like to be remembered for my words, honestly, and the impact that they have for helping people get through their own hardships. I love helping others. I love being the nurturer. I love being the teacher, and I know that my words can do that. So that's what I want to be remembered for. My words.
Wow, thank you very much for honoring Ivy. And we're looking forward to see you on a Zoom meet and greet on our webinars during the Global Readers Campaign and Award festivity. And we're looking forward to have you play a vital role on our authors mentors list during our Global Authors Book Tour. Author Jerry O, I have been so honored, so privileged and opportune
Thank
to
you.
have a fine mind and a minders hand like you on our Global Readers Book Show. Thank you very much for honoring our
Thank you.
Ivy. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Mm.
All right, thank you. So with this, we come to the end of this episode. We've been on to Author Jerry O. Author Jerry O is a fine mind, an amazing author. And I think she inherited this from her mother, and I think she came from a home of having analytical readers. So trust me, you would become the books you read and the people you meet. So I hope that you give a chance, you give yourself a chance and meet Otto Jerry O. You would not regret it. And trust me, you will also need to give words of the mouth on our behalf. You need to share it with your friends, your community, or family. And don't forget to follow, share, and engage on our special hashtag. It's been so amazing to have this fine mind on the last book show. So I look forward to have a back to back on a show, on our webinars and a Zoom meet and greet. And I look forward to have a Minders Mind and Hands on a Global Readers Circle. With this, we come to the end of this session, and I look forward to get your engagement. Don't forget to stream, don't forget to share with your friends, and don't forget to make a reader out of every global person. Thank you very much, Otto Jerry. Oh, thank you very, very much.
Thank
I'm so
you. Thank
honored.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.